Welcome, everybody. Happy to be here. I'm John. If you don't know me, and I'm excited to talk to you today about how I built my first six-figure print-on-demand store. Um, I'm excited to join with you. I'm excited. I love doing these coffee with ShineOns, and getting to chat with the community. It's always fun to get out here, um, and meet the people. I almost said mix with the commoners, but that sounds a little bit too patriarchal. We don't need to get into that. Um, but good morning to all of you. Good afternoon for me. I am in the Netherlands, just outside of Amsterdam, so it is afternoon, Friday afternoon for me. For some of you, I'm sure you're all over the world, but for most of you, it's probably your morning, and you're probably drinking coffee. This is Coffee with ShineOn. I'm not drinking coffee because it's a little late in the day for me to be drinking coffee. But I've got lots of water here to go through. So, but yeah, I wanted to. So let me just see if I can't share this over. Oh, I need to do that. Pull this in here. I can mute it. There we go. So yeah, today on Coffee with ShineOn, I am going to talk about how I built my first six-figure print-on-demand store, and kind of give you a background on me. I'm not a Michael. I didn't go off and sell $50,000 of product in one day. I've got a different background than that. I come from e-com, but it's a very different world. Print on demand was actually introduced to me when I started working at ShineOn. So I'm going to go into my background, where I come from, and then give you guys a little glimpse of about a 2.5-year journey that I've gone on, and making lots of mistakes to build a six-figure print-on-demand store, and very close to getting to a 7-figure print-on-demand store. I think my journey is something that's can be seen as much more familiar to a lot of people, because I did struggle a lot, and we'll dig into that. And I think that it's my hope is to show you guys that there's a lot of work that's involved. It doesn't matter how much you know. It's a different world, and so I'm just excited to share that. But before I get into all of that, let's go ahead and say, like this post. Go give me a thumbs up or a heart or a caring emoji. You can even be angry if you want to. I don't care, but give me some sort of emoji on this post, and drop some hearts into the comments. Doing that helps to make sure that Facebook understands that you guys love this content and they should share this content with more people, and make sure that everyone in our groups sees this content. So yeah, throw me all those emojis, throw me the likes. Someone gave me an angry emoji. I love it. I'm okay with it. I get angry at the ones I love the most too. So it's okay. But do that because it helps ShineOn out, and helps allow this content to get out to more people and help us to grow. I'm going to see if I can make myself. Oh, I just wish I could be bigger. I'm going to be like this. No, that's too big. No, that gets rid of my screen. Ugh, gosh, I'm so small. I just want to be bigger. No, well, I don't know if there's a way to make it bigger. There it is. We'll deal with that. I'm just the small guy down here. I'll put myself in the corner like this. All right. So thank you for all those likes. Let's first jump into the swag winners from last week. This is one of my favorite parts. I love getting to share swag. You can see I've got my ShineOn shirt on, and pretty soon, if you're one of the lucky ones, you can also be wearing one of your own ShineOn shirts. And hold on, I'll find it. Carrie said, Carrie, wait, make sure you're sharing in the group. so that when we do have you on to tell your story, you have some ShineOn swag to wear, right? So everyone needs to try and win some ShineOn swag. So this week we have Tiffany Ann. She says, "Hi all, I am branching out to my first store. I own an email and SMS marketing agency for e-commerce and thought, why not do this for myself? I see how successful my clients are. Love it. I love this, thinking this is something that's very similar to me and my journey with print on demand. I sat here and helped you guys all. I said, why don't I do it for myself? Yeah. But Tiffany, I think Brooke will reach out and make sure you get a code so you can get some free ShineOn swag from the merch store. So get a cool shirt like this. And we look forward to hopefully being able to have you tell your story at some point while you wear your ShineOn swag. Do you want to get free swag? And you're wondering, well, how come Tiffany got free swag and I didn't? Each week, we randomly grab 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 posts from the group and gift some swag. So if you want to win some swag, please take part in our community. Give us a testimonial post. Show us a screenshot of your sales. Just say hi. Share your story. That sense of community is something that we like to say is what makes ShineOn special. When you join the ShineOn community, you get more than just a print-on-demand supplier. You get a business partner that comes with this giant helpful community that where everyone wants everyone else to succeed, and we all just encourage each other, and we're positive. One of the big things I've always said is it's really hard for the people like you to really stay focused on this, because the people in the rest of your life like don't understand what you're doing. They can't take part in it. You feel like you're on an island. You can't go and talk to your friends about doing print on demand because they have no idea what you're talking about. And that's where ShineOn comes in and provides you a community of people who can share in those values and those stories. And if you are struggling, they'll give you words of encouragement. And if you are successful, they'll help pat you on the back and tell you to keep going. So, the more that you guys provide to the community, the more the community will provide you back, and the more opportunities you will have to win some free swag. So take advantage of that ShineOn community. Let's jump into some latest ShineOn news. What are the cool things happening this past week? We've got Operation Bounty Hunt going on. If you join our group, if you start commenting on posts, every once in a while you'll get a friend request and a message from some random person that's trying to sell you something. Please, now my head's in the way. Nope, too big. This one. So please, if someone is trying to spam you, if someone is trying to sell you something out of the group, getting you to join a different group. There's a lot of groups that have ShineOn in the name that are not the official ShineOn group. Go to that forum, let them know who they are. Let us know who they are so we can get them out of the group. This group is not here to sell you a bunch of stuff. This group is not here to allow people to spam you. We want this to be the community. So let's, you guys can help make that community a better experience for everybody. So go out there and everybody be a bounty hunter. And if you do have a successful bounty, we will share $15 of Shine Cash to you. So basically, your next order is free. So how cool is that? And Brooke has put the link down there in the chat. All right. What else do we have new? Leave us a review. apps.shopify/ShineOn/review. You won't remember that. Just go to the App Store and type in ShineOn and leave us a review. If you already have left us a review, we have something like we're going on 1,300 reviews. And if you have already left us a review, but you're like, I just love ShineOn so much, I wish I could leave them a second review. Well, good news, you can. You can go to Trustpilot and you can leave us a review on Trustpilot. For many of you that are new to us, you won't know this, but many of you that are oldies will understand. We used to have this thing called a platform, which allowed all of our sellers to sell through a ShineOn.com website. And that unfortunately led to us getting a ton of negative reviews from angry customers and things like that we had no control over. And so we are trying to combat that by having you guys go and leave us some Trustpilot reviews. So if you've already left us a review and you just want to tell how much you love ShineOn, go to Trustpilot, search ShineOn, and leave us a review, a 5-star glowing review. It'll go a long way. We'll be very happy. And who knows, if we recognize your name, if we see your name, we might even go and send you some Shine Cash or a coupon to the merch store to say thank you. I'm not technically allowed to solicit reviews, so don't hear it that way. But you never know. Something might just appear in your inbox. So anyway, and then again, the best way to stay caught up, make sure you always check the featured section in the Facebook group. Go in there that every week, just go into that featured area. We're posting almost every day, sometimes twice a day. So sometimes it might feel like you missed something, but if you go to that featured section, you'll be able to see all the things that our moderators are posting, our admins are posting. So make sure you stay caught up on the most recent things. And if you've done that recently, you probably saw that we were teasing something yesterday. And today I will reveal what that teaser is, but not until I'm done telling you my story. So you're going to have to sit around and listen to me talk for a while before I give away what's happening. And Brooke's probably wondering why, because she's probably like, I'm pretty sure I put that slide next. No, I took that slide and moved it all the way to the bottom because they're all having to listen to me. They can't run away after I reveal the goodie. So let's jump in here. Look at that, Tammy. My guy, his hat disappears, his sunglasses disappear, and I jump into the coffee. I love it. It's so much fun. My favorite thing. I can just sit here and watch this for a while. I need to do it from when I had like blue hair and all of that. It just needs to be like completely crazy images of me. I feel like that would just be great. Okay, let's go ahead and do our digital marketers toast. Hold on one second. I have to fix something on my computer. Oh, geez. Okay, where did it go? Here we are. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do the digital marketers toast. So if you have I know, Tammy, you struggle with your gift. That's why I had to sit there and make sure you watched it 10 times. So if you have coffee, grab your coffee. If you have tea, have tea. If you're having a rough morning, grab your whiskey. Doesn't matter to me. Let's go ahead and let's do us a nice little toast. Raise up your glasses, mugs, bottles, or flasks, and join me now for the digital marketers toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, cheaper CPMs, and lower CACs, to higher CTRs, much higher CVRs, to enabled ad accounts and big bank accounts, to upsells, downsells, and cross-sells, to winning products and repeat sells, to the thing that everybody knows. The riches are in the niches, but also in your email flows. Ready? Hillary, you and me are on the same page here. Although I don't have any whiskey, but the thinking, I have to stay sharp for this. Maybe afterwards I'll have some. All righty. Well, cheers, everybody. Let's go ahead and let's jump in and start learning about who I am, right? I'm John Burgess. I am the VP of Marketing at ShineOn. But who I am beyond this, beyond who I am at ShineOn. I've actually been working in e-commerce for over 15 years. I started building e-commerce websites back on a platform called Big Cartel. It was the first platform to automatically allow for color and sizing for t-shirts to come natively. Before that, it was really difficult to build t-shirts and things like that. I had my own print shop. I would print shirts, sell them online. Way back when, this was before there was Facebook advertising. Back in like 2007, it was a very different world. Did a lot on forums. Very interesting thing. Did a lot of also selling in person. And then moved on to work in digital marketing and moving into the e-commerce world. And like I said, I've been doing e-com for over 15 years for other people, right? I really got into it working in e-com, doing social media, doing advertising, doing content creation, doing emails, managing websites, coding websites, all of the above, right? And managing large teams, right? But I did it all for other people. And during that time, I helped brands from, go from zero to all the way up to having a brand that was doing over $500 million a year. I've worked in a lot of crazy industries. A lot of people like I'm going to show this next slide and you're going to see a bunch of industries. And I bet you can't pick out the one that was a $500 million industry. And so it's just weird. But these are some of the industries that I've worked at, right? I've sold hats. I've sold fancy canes. I've sold medical devices. I've sold these really weird little parking things. Some of the weirdest things ever. I sold e-cigarette juice or vaping juice and stuff like that. And then I also had a stint in the THC and CBD market and selling those products. Yeah, I really enjoyed selling terpenes, which are like the hallucinogenic parts of THC, but they're really good for people with ADD, which I have. But yeah, sold a lot of random products, and some of the things that you wouldn't believe is like if you look at this list, you probably can't. I'd like everyone to guess which one was the $50 million brand. I'm excited to see what people guess. Throw in the comments. Tell me which one you think it is of these six. There's a delay, so I'm going to have to keep talking, but eventually I'll see all of your guesses jump in here. Ooh. Canes, medical, Canes. Deborah's still stuck on the Maui Wowie, the hats, well, the TINS units. Woodcraft, you actually know what that medical device is. The parking strip. I'll tell you this, it was not the parking strip. So here's the funny thing. Only one of you so far has got it right. And Tammy or Brooke, can we give like $20 in Shine Cash to Mark? The vaping liquid. The vaping liquid was actually the largest vaping liquid supplier in the United States until I think it was called Blue came along, which were the little pins, and they overtook us. But we were the largest supplier. We had a 600,000 square foot warehouse where we built, we made all of our own stuff. We had something like 70 different brands, and I think somewhere of over like 3,000 different flavors of e-liquids that we sold. It was this was prior to a lot of like the vape epidemic and everything. But yeah, we were the largest supplier of vaping products as well. We also sold all of the actual like pens and all of that. We had something like 45 different e-commerce websites. We had B2B. We also had B2C. And so, yeah, we did a lot. It's very interesting to have well over $1 million of sales coming in daily, and having to manage that. And I think when you're running all of those websites, you've got, I think we were doing somewhere between 50 to 60 email campaigns at every time. At any point in time, I had that many running. Teams of graphic designers, teams of marketers, teams of social media. And this is an industry that you're not allowed to advertise online, right? So like, this is all done through email and SEO, right? There was no Facebook ads for this. There was no, it all had to be organic growth. And we were able to grow that and be like I said, like I wasn't there for the beginning because it's like a well-owned company, but we expanded greatly. We actually, that's where the CBD actually came in. We actually expanded into the CBD and launched one of the first CBD vape products in the world, and grew that really fast. Another funny one is the walking canes. A lot of you guessed canes. That was actually the second largest company I've worked for. It's crazy, right? Like doing like $80 to $100 million of canes on the internet. Like no one ever believes me, but it's crazy. Like these industries were big. Hats, sold a lot of hats. Didn't sell a lot of those parking things, I'll be honest with you, but did work trying to sell them. The TINS units and the other medical devices was a really big thing where we white labeled out TINS units and sold them. Really cool industries, and I learned a lot, right? I worked on small teams of 2 to 3 people to big teams of 60 to 80 people, doing a lot in the e-commerce space, right? I managed teams of developers, teams of artists, teams of marketers, teams of product developers, business intelligence. I worked with overseas suppliers, and I worked with in-house product development and testing, right? Like doing a lot of different stuff. Going to trade shows and with Chinese suppliers and working with them to develop products and build brands, and doing actual product testing and bringing in groups of people, having them try flavors and figure out which one's the best flavor. And I've done a lot, right? I've created brands from scratch, and I've also had a reselling company where we resold existing brands, and we're actually the largest supplier of hats in the US. Unless you bought from a company directly. I was the second largest supplier of Stetson cowboy hats, and Kangol, and a bunch of the other hat brands out there. And I said we also developed completely new product verticals, the CBD vape, the terpenes, working with scientists to develop these out and finding markets and figuring out how to sell them. So like I said, e-commerce experience, I had a lot of it, right? Like I've been in the e-commerce world. I've been involved in the e-commerce world for a very long time. And if you think of someone that could come into the print-on-demand space and just kick its butt and make it easy, you'd go, you fit the bill pretty easily. Brand building is my background. Omni-channel advertising, going across everything, doing SEO, Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, influencer marketing, giant email campaigns, doing B2C, B2B, right? Like done a lot. I knew the world, right? I walked into print on demand and said, I've got this. Easy peasy, right? Well, I didn't really know about print on demand until I started working here at ShineOn 4 years ago. And after about a year into working at ShineOn, I decided I needed to understand what our merchants were going through. So I decided to start my own print on demand brand. I decided that I was not going to sell ShineOn products because I had access to all of your data, right? I knew everything that you guys were doing and felt like that would be unethical for me to then go sell the same product when I have all of your data. So I decided to choose a completely different industry and a different niche. I found something that I actually cared about and that I knew really well. And I said, okay, I'm going to open up a print-on-demand store. And I proceeded to make mistake after mistake, right? Because I knew everything. I knew it all. I knew how this world worked. I'm going to be able to do it, right? Where could I possibly go wrong? I can grow companies in the millions. I can easily handle building, a simple print-on-demand company. Easy. So I launched my store around January 2021. And this is like the first year, right? I did $1,500 in sales. That's not a very good year. I don't know if you guys know how years go, but that's not working out. And I can tell you, I spent way more money than $1,500. I lost a good amount of money here. And it turns out I'm not a direct response marketer, right? I'm a brand builder. And I spent all of my time that first year trying to build a brand. Like I was going to walk in and be a household name, and everyone would see my ad and just go, I trust that brand. And they were going to come and they were going to buy, right? It was just like, oh, here's some of my product. Here's a cool video of my product. People are just going to come buy it. And it turns out that didn't work. Like it really didn't work. Like I was not a brand, right? Like no one had ever heard of me. No one knew who I was. I had no trust. I had no sale. I had nothing to base this on. And everything I built was like, look at us. We're the people you know. Come buy this. And that's not how print on demand works, right? And you guys, those of you with sales are laughing at this because you understand what this is, right? I lost a lot of money that first year. I decided to rethink the entire business, right? So I stopped making designs that I liked. I stopped designing for myself, right? And I started looking at the market and looking at what was working and looking at trends or things that had special meanings in my market, right? I stopped trying to build my ads like I was a big brand that people knew. And things started to turn around, it wasn't all horrible. And the first, what's this, 2022, right? So you can see here, I took some time off. I'll tell you that, right? You can obviously see that in the beginning of the year because I was like, lost a lot of money. My wife's a little mad at me. Need to figure this out. So I took some time off and I came back and I launched for that Q4 and with a whole new outlook on what my brand was, right? And I started looking at what's in the market, right? I started to find success, but I still never quite broke big, right? I was doing a couple, maybe I do $100 a day, maybe like 2 sales a day, maybe 3 sales on a good day, but then I'd have a day with no sales or 2 days with no sales. And then I get a return and have be in the negative, right? I wasn't breaking even. I was lucky if I was breaking even. Let's say that, right? It was a struggle. I was fighting an uphill battle, and I knew like something was missing. That I was just making mistake after mistake, and here I am. I'm working at ShineOn, right? I'm watching people go off and make and sell hundreds of units a day, right? And I'm sitting here going, it's not that people aren't out there buying. Like people are clearly out there buying. But I'm doing something wrong. Like I am just clearly something is missing about how I was approaching the business. I thought that I was making the right changes, and maybe I was making the right changes, but maybe I just wasn't changing it the right way. I knew what I'm treating the symptoms, not the problem, right? And I was still trying to really like lean into building this brand and so heavily focused on my branding and trying to do all of this stuff. And I really felt like at that point, I wasn't focused on making sales and generating revenue. And I just kept coming back to what I knew, which was brand building. But you can't build a brand if no one's buying your stuff. So this is a mistake that a lot of people in the print-on-demand world make, is as soon as they start seeing success, they fall back to what they were doing before, right? They don't continue to grow. They don't continue to expand. They don't continue to test, continue to change things, to figure out what's working. The moment I saw something selling, like, the moment I had an ad that got 2 sales, right? And I made $100 and I only spent 30. The next day I was like, spend $500, right? And I spent $500 and get 0 sales. And I'd be like, well, I just erased 2 weeks worth of sales. Like I was making dumb mistakes. I'd launch an ad and get a sale instantly, and I'd triple the budget and not get a sale for the rest of the day, right? I was making really dumb mistakes. I didn't know how to read the data. I didn't know how to really create the ads. It was just, like I said, mistake after mistake after mistake. So I decided that I needed to make a change. And I'm a person where I know that I'm not the smartest person in the room. And granted, this took me, 2 years to figure out I'm not the smartest person in the room. But 2 years later, I realized I'm not the smartest person in the room. So I went out and I got a coach, right? I went out. And I'm not going to tell you about who I got a coach, who I had coaching me, but I went out and I got a coach. Someone who could break down what I was doing and explain where it was going wrong. Someone who could lay out a new way of thinking so that I could focus in the right areas. Someone that could take my disheveled brain and put it into a nice, neat rows so that I could actually do the work that I needed to do, right? And it was an investment I made in myself. I'd already lost a good amount of money, right? Like I was saying, lost a bunch of money the first year, probably 10 grand. The second year, broke even, right? So I'm still down 10 grand. I decided if this is going to work, I see coaches, right? Like I work with Michael, right? Like I know all of these coaches. I said, clearly there's something to this. So I went out and I got a coach to help me. And I completely shifted how I went about creating ads. I shifted the content that I was creating. I started focusing in my niche on gifting. I actually sold a men's product, and I started selling to women to buy from men. And it turns out no one else was trying to do that. And I found this little niche of a gifting product for men. And you can see here, this is the first half of last year. And hey, that's much better, right? Like that's more sales than I had for the last 2 years. I did it in 6 months. It wasn't all great. There was a lot of work that had to go in, right? And anyone that's worked with a coach knows it's not instant success. I was still making mistakes, but I was learning from those mistakes. I was still figuring out, how do I shift my business? How do I change what I'm doing? How do I do all of that? And this is something that it took time. It took me working with a coach. It took me time working within a community and learning from others and testing and doing all of that. But I'm starting to see a shift in sales. And like I told you, I'm here to tell you how I built a 6-figure brand. I'm not at 6 figures yet, right? Like if you count the cents, maybe I am, but right, like I'm at 2.5 years and I'm at 40 grand in sales, right? It's not great. I went the wrong way. So I at this point I said, I've gone out and I've built a business and I felt like it was ready to scale, right? I've seen the success. I'm learning how to do my ads, but I'm spending a lot of time doing my customer service, I'm spending a lot of time managing. I had custom products, and I'm spending my time doing artwork for each one and uploading it. And I have a full-time job, right? I work at ShineOn full-time. Like a lot of you have full-time jobs. Like and I've got a wife and I've got a kid. I don't have 5 hours a day to do this, right? Like I have like 30 minutes to an hour a day that I was able to spend on this if I was lucky. And it was all taken up doing customer service and doing artwork. And so I went out and with the help of my coach, I built SOPs so that I could hire a VA to come in and do my customer service. I hired a VA to handle doing all of the custom artwork for my custom orders and working with my suppliers and making sure all my tracking numbers were getting done and all of that. And then I also went out and I found a couple of influencers and I made relationships with them to help me get my content created. And it turns out there were a couple, like you call them micro influencers, but if I gave them some free product, they would wear it and use it and take a bunch of pictures, and I could use that in my ads. I no longer had to film everything myself. With a very small investment of some free product, I was now getting content sent to me. And I could piece that into ads, and I could reach out and say, hey, can you like put it in a box and pretend you get it as a gift? And they would film that for me, and I was able to like get content, right? So I was prepared now going into Q4, right? You see an upward trajectory. And when you consider how slow that trajectory, you start seeing it go up. And I was ready, right? I was ready for Q4. And here's the end of last year, right? Did basically $100,000 in sales in the second half of last year. And you will see there's a big drop off at the end, right? We ended up exposing an issue, which is, this happens. Turns out my product was a summer product, right? And as I hit Q4, I started to lose profitability. I started to lose the ability to scale. I started to get more and more competition in the market as you hit Q4, especially in my gifting niche. And so I had to kind of scale back. So I slowed down, right? And did a deep analysis on the business. But what I showed myself is that I was able to get up for like a 3-month period and be doing $35,000 a month, right? I was struggling to do $20,000 a year. And now here I am doing $35,000 a month. And I was going, this is working. I'm getting profit, right? That $10,000 that I lost 2 years ago, I had now paid that debt off and I was back into positive numbers, and it worked, right? And there were issues, right? We realized, hey, turns out this is a summer product. Trying to sell it in the winter, you're going to run into some issues in a lot of companies. I didn't go down to zero. I was still making a couple grand a month, which was good, and it was profitable. But I learned that I was a summer product, right? Which is fine. I can live with being a summer product. Jewelry is somewhat seasonal. Some products are seasonal, but like having my store built on this one specific product exposed that there was an issue of I have nothing to sell for Q4. And Q4 is the time where generally you can sell a lot. So that's an issue, and I'm going to look to solve that. But I took some time and I thought about what is my brand. I'm now at a point where I'm hitting 6 figures. I'm doing $30,000 a month. I'm at a point where like I would say I'm getting to the point where I can start focusing a little bit on brand building, right? And focusing on brand building, again, that's my background, right? Like I've got my store. It's basically automated. It's being run. My orders are coming in. They're going to my suppliers. They're getting sent out. They're getting delivered. My customers are leaving me good reviews. Like, this is great. And this is all based off of running Facebook ads. I said, cool. What are the next steps? Right, I'm going to take the winter and I'm going to put things on slow-mo, on automatic mode. And I'm going to sit and I'm going to think on this, right? So for the next couple of months, I spent some time thinking about what I had built and how I was going to turn it into a brand. So I started doing a deep dive into my website. and I focused very heavily on site speed, right? And I got it up to where I'm an A plus site speed. I was at like a C because I built all these product pages and added all this stuff, and it was slow. Well, now I'm at an A plus, like a 99 site speed, right? Well, that's really good. That takes time. I started doing SEO. I started writing a blog. I started creating content. I started getting stuff to rank for certain search terms. I'll get into this later, but doing SEO and again, finding ways to get organic traffic. My number one complaint that I had from people was the quality of my product. So I actually went out and I found a new supplier in the US and worked with them to prototype my product so that they could create it for me in the US. So I'd have a US print-on-demand supplier that would do all of my production in 3 days and have domestic shipping. So taking my turnaround time from like 12-day delivery down to like 6 days for delivery. Well, that's huge for me. That all of a sudden expands how I can sell. It's going to provide me a better customer experience. And the product quality had been raised drastically, right? And my product cost only went up like 10% because I knew what I was doing now. I then expanded my product line into some print-on-demand, some other print-on-demand items, but also some non-print-on-demand items. And I've got again, I live in Europe, but I've got a friend in the US who's got a basement full of my products, and we've got a system to where he goes out and he ships orders out for me every day of stuff that comes in. I've got this hat right here. It's one of my products, right? Custom-made hats that go along with my product line that I go out and I get made in overseas and shipped to my friend, and he fulfills them for me because I can't find a print-on-demand supplier with what I wanted. So I was supplementing my store. And I also spent some time better training my team, right? They were giving out a lot of refunds. So I went out and looked at what they were doing, told them, how do you take this bad experience and turn it into a good one? How do we give out coupons? How do we give out discounts? How can we take customer service, which is losing us money, and turn it into something that's actually making us money? Negative reviews, turning them into positive reviews, doing all of that. Is that the right answer? Yeah. I also went out and I studied my competition, right? I found out what is working for these other brands, not just in our space, but in similar spaces. I spent that time creating a flip book of content, all the things that I saw other people doing that I wanted. I went out and gathered all of that. And then I went and started working with my influencers to start filming it. Even though it was the winter, they were filming it for me. So I had this giant database of content that I could start using, and I'm holding it, right? For it just turned spring, right? I'm holding all of this content ready to go, excited about it. I also looked into similar niches, right? I was in this one specific niche, but it turns out all these people in this niche also were in this niche, right? And so I took it and said, hey, that would fit directly in my store. They go right together. Guess what? Now I've got a whole bunch of products in this niche as well. And so I'm expanding because, hey, if you buy one of these, you'll buy one of these, right? Learning about my audience and who my audience is and what they're interested in. What else can I have in my store? What other products would they want? And I also worked on my cash flow, right? I made sure I had the resources to allow me to go on the journey I'm hoping to go on, right? Making sure I have the credit lined up, making sure I have the bank account set up, that I have the system set up, that I've got my accountant that's good to go. I've got all of that set up so that I'm there's a working business behind me. I dove deep into my brand building background, right? I created organic content. I'm getting my products not just in Shopify, right? But I started spreading, and I put all my products on Amazon. I put them all on Etsy. I started running some branded ads on Google. So if you search my brand, an ad for me pops up, right? Because it turns out some of my competitors were starting to bid on my own company name. So now I'm making sure that I always show up first if you search me out. If you go to Amazon and you search my company name, my products show up. If you go to Etsy and you search my company name, my products show up, right? Wherever you go to look for my product, it's there. I built over 50 emails in a bunch of different sequences. I've got welcome sequences. I've got abandoned cart sequences. I've got app post-purchase sequences. I've got second purchase sequences. I've got we haven't seen you in a while sequences. Right? I built out all of these emails, nicely branded, went in and spent the time to make sure that they were set up nice and that the flows were correct. Right? Those emails are not just focused on getting first sales, they're also focused on getting second and third, right? That's brand building. You know, just sell once, just sell twice, just sell 3 times. That extra income, if you have 30% of your income be returning customers, you can just keep refilling or keep filling your customer base. You can grow, and that's how you build a brand, right? So just recently, you can see if you look at the little comparison line, there was nothing going on, right? I was getting a random 1 sale a day, not running any ads. But the other week, I decided to turn on some ads and test my market, test my stuff. Spring had just started, right? This is the very beginning of spring. And I said, let's see how things are working. Turned on some ads, and instantly in a week, I'm doing $12,500, right? I'm right back at the point where in a month, I'm doing that 35 to 40 grand mark. And this is right off the bat. You know, the work that I put in was showing me that my market's ready. It's working. My new products, people are into it. My supplier's working good. Like I said, this is just the beginning, right? This is basically last week, right? Pretty good sales, right? Getting a couple grand a day. And it showed me that it was working, and it allows me to start analyzing things and start thinking about things and figuring out how I want to test. But if I'm at my testing point and I'm profitable and I am testing and making money, that's great because it allows me to then go and continue doing more testing while not losing money, right? And my Q4 for my brand really is May to September, that main summer, early fall period. So I'm moving into my Q4, and right now I'm poised to where I think we're going to break $1 million in that period. I'm going to get up to the point where I'm doing over $100,000 months, 6-figure months, and breaking 7 figures in 2024. And it was a journey, right? Like if you guys think about this, that's a journey. That's like 3.5 years, right? So like, what have I learned over these 3-ish years, right? I might have had all the experience in the world doing similar things, but the print-on-demand game it's something different. Building something from scratch like this, when you don't have a giant investment, you don't have a giant team, you're trying to do it all yourself. It is just different. And if you're going to try and do direct response, you have to do it correct. If you don't do it, you're going to waste your money on ads. Just launching an ad doesn't mean you're going to get a sale. And a lot of you can see yourself in this. You launched ads, you lost money, and then someone told you how to run the right ad, and all of a sudden you were making money, right? And to me, what I can say is having a coach was literally the best decision I made, right? A small investment, a couple $1,000 investment for me, turned me into, within a year, I'm at a point where I'm building a brand, and I'm still working a full-time job, right? I'm clearly wearing my ShineOn shirt, working at ShineOn. 30 minutes a day is the amount of time I spend on this. I don't work on the weekends, right? I spend that time with my family. 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes in my morning is all I need to make sure things are set up, to go read my data, write out the things that I need other people to do, and then they go and take action on them, right? it doesn't have to, you don't have to spend 8 hours a day on this to make money. Now, is there a point where if I go make like $5 million this year that I'm probably going to call Eric up and say, hey buddy, sorry, like, you know, I'm getting paid more over here. It could happen, but that's not my goal. My goal is to understand this market so that I can provide you guys with a good experience at ShineOn. My goal is not to build a giant brand and become a brand owner, right? I love working at ShineOn. I love doing all this, but this is like, I needed to understand the journey that you guys are on so I could understand what you guys need to be successful. I have to open my window because my daughter's walking down the street and I have to wave at her when she gets home. So don't mind me for a second. But like, I needed to understand the journey, because if I understand your journey, I understand what to provide you guys as ShineOn, right? As I think about what features ShineOn needs to build, as I think about what products ShineOn needs, as I think about what's important to your business, being a part of that business myself allows me to better understand what you guys need. And that's why you're seeing the things that we're doing. That's why you see how the product catalog is expanding drastically. You guys needed diversity. You needed more products. You needed to find ways to be less seasonal. You needed to find products that you can sell during the non-jewelry seasons, right? You needed more innovative products. You needed new things on the market. You needed to be able to reach new niches, right? All of that stuff is what we're building at ShineOn, because I see myself in all of you and I go, what do they need to be successful? And I make sure ShineOn's going out and providing that to you. And that leads me into, I'm going to talk about our surprise now, or I don't know, I guess it's a surprise, right? What you're seeing here is the ShineOn Mastermind, right? It's how to score in 2024, winning the game of Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up. It is right around the corner, right? Mother's Day is May. I should know this. What is it? May 11th or May 18th or no, May 12th? It's May 12th. It's my daughter's birthday. That's probably why I should know it. So Mother's Day is May 12th, right? We're a month and a half out. You've got 4 to 5 weeks leading into Mother's Day. Mother's Day is the second biggest selling time traditionally for ShineOn. That's a huge gifting time. It's a huge time for you guys to go out and make sales. And just in time for that, we've expanded the product catalog and we've given you tons of stuff, tons of new products to sell. We're expanding in all sorts of other ways. We're developing new features. We're fixing more and more things. It's funny. I see this name or this thing come up here about the ShineOn product pages. That's actually something that we're currently in the process of working on and redoing all of that to make a better experience. But we're trying to provide you guys with everything that you need so that you guys can make Mother's Day that period that allows you to say, I can do this. This is something I'm going to spend my time on. You see that first level of success, and it makes you want to keep going and continue your journey. So I'm proud to announce that we're doing our ShineOn virtual mastermind. I'm not on the right. And for this mastermind, I'm going to be bringing, I shouldn't say ShineOn's going to be bringing you 5 of the top print-on-demand coaches out there. These are 5 of the best people to learn how to sell print-on-demand from. And they are going to come together and they are going to share nuggets of information with you so that you can learn. And I'm going to introduce you to 5 of the best coaches that you might listen to and decide that's the coach that I want. That's the one that speaks to me. That's the one that's, in my area. You've got Joe Robert with Print on Demand, POD Ninjas. You've got Luna Vega with E-commerce Academy in the Etsy space. You've got Mario Menduni, Ecom Performance Mastermind, which is one of the best ways to scale your business. You've got Matthew Schmidt from SCUP, who has had huge success. And you've got Michael Christ, ShineOn, from ShineOn, who has Launchpad and does the challenge. And, all of these people actively have people in their coaching programs that are selling ShineOn. They understand ShineOn. I talk to them all the time. These are some of the best minds out there to help you get to the next step. And for me, this is an opportunity for me to put together a lineup that I felt would allow you guys to see some of these people and hear them talk specifically to you about ShineOn and about Mother's Day, and hopefully inspire you to say, hey, that's my coach. You're going to get through Mother's Day, and hopefully you come through Mother's Day with the funds to say, I'm going to go hire that coach. And so to me, this is just an experience that I wanted to that ShineOn wanted to put forward to you guys and make sure everyone's aware of these people. So the way this is working is we are selling tickets to this mastermind. The good news is if you are one of our Empire Builders merchants, you are actually getting a free ticket to this mastermind. And Brooke's going to throw a link out here where you can go purchase a ticket. If you're an Empire Builder member, you can just message support, our support team, and they will give you a coupon that you can go enter to get a free ticket. And we're really excited about this event because this is something you don't want to miss it. This is if you want to springboard and make sure Mother's Day is the best opportunity you can, it's a very small investment to make in order to take advantage of this. The times aren't 100% nailed down. We're still working with our speakers to make sure we work around their schedules and everything will get, but we're probably looking sometime Eastern time, sometime like noon to 5 or 2 to 7, something around that on April 4th. So check out that link, and just like I said, it's a very small investment to get introduced to some of the top people and have them talk basically specifically to you about selling ShineOn and about Mother's Day, and make sure that you can take advantage of that. That being said, that's the end of my John talk or my TED talk today. So I do want to answer some questions. If anyone has any questions, I want to allow you guys an opportunity to, if it's about my journey or about what I've seen. I've been very specific to try not to give out what I sell in my store and the products that I sell, because I don't want to influence you on where I am. They are non-ShineOn products. I'm not trying to get you to go sell 9 ShineOn products. I just didn't want to compete with you guys in sales as I was launching my store, so I went out and sold something else. And here's actually a great question. If we get Empire today, can we get the free ticket? Yes. If you sign up for Empire Builders anytime before the mastermind, you will be able to claim a free ticket. So if you're on starter, if you go switch your plan to Empire Builders, you'll be able to get the free ticket. If you're on side hustle, you can switch. If you're new, you can go sign up. And to be honest, Empire Builders is worth it, especially heading into the Mother's Day time. You're going to get upwards of $4 off on every one of your orders during Mother's Day, which is a huge selling period. Doesn't take a lot. $87. All you really need is about 23 people or 23 sales to get to have it pay for itself. Let's see, Christine. So it's free for people on Launchpad. Yes, if you are a member of Launchpad, you have Empire Builders. So all you have to do is reach out and get your coupon code so that you can attend for free. You can contact customer support on the ShineOn page. You can just go to the chat and say, hey, I'm an Empire Builders member. They're going to probably ask for your email just to verify it, and then they'll give you the coupon code. I don't know your name because you are a Facebook user, but have you implemented TikTok shops into your marketing? Yes, actually, I did implement TikTok shops into my marketing. It's been a learning experience on TikTok. However, it has been pretty fruitful for me. I am very happy with TikTok shops. And the biggest thing there is just being aware of production times. That being said, my learnings from TikTok shop late last year is one of the biggest things we're working to implement right now into ShineOn. And we're actually working to get all of our products in a 3-day SLA production time right now. So we're working really hard to make it so all of our products would easily fit in the SLAs that TikTok requires for you to sell through TikTok shops, which will be a huge benefit to everybody. So we've been working really hard with our production team and our engineering team to be able to handle the scale, being able to handle everything so that we can be shipping things within 3 days of getting your orders. So that's actually a huge thing that we're working on. I can't necessarily say it's done, but it's something we're working very, very hard on. And does ShineOn fit in that? You can sell ShineOn on TikTok shops. I would probably avoid the express shipping option. You can do standard shipping. This is, again, why I would specifically stick to, you want to, the majority of our products are able to ship in 3 days. Most of our jewelry products are shipping out in 1 to 2 days most of the time. We try and stick under 3 days. Some of our production items are dog tags and our hearts, and I would probably avoid those because those are the ones we're struggling the most to get down to that SLA. In general, our acrylics are shipping in that time frame. A lot of our sublimation print stuff, our tote bags and jean jackets and pillows, canvas and all of that, those are pretty much all shipping within 3 days right now. So there's a lot of them there that I do think if you want to sell on TikTok shops, if you're able to get TikTok shops, if you're able to get Facebook shops, those are things that you should be heavily invested in making sure you have set up. It's going to make every part of your advertising easier if you have those. You wouldn't recommend necklaces for quick. I would recommend a lot of our necklaces. It's the graphic dog tags and the graphic hearts and the graphic circles. Those are they're not at a 3-day production time right now. So I would avoid those products. But our Love Knot and Forever Loves and Alluring Beauties, those are all shipping out generally in 1 to 2 days. So you shouldn't have too many issues with those products. The only limitations based on products or shipping. The only thing with the shipping is I would avoid, we have priority shipping, right, with FedEx. And so you can do priority shipping. However, TikTok is very, very, very stringent on that. So I personally would avoid it just because you don't want to anger TikTok, right? And so that would be my biggest issue that I would say is I would just stick with the standard shipping with TikTok for right now. But we're trying to make it so that we're working very hard to try and get it to work with TikTok. And if you want to do TikTok, you can. There's a said commerce integration with TikTok shops. You do need to be in the U.S. You do need to have a U.S. business in order to do this. But if you have it, it's a great opportunity. Christine asks, are mugs going to be available for Mother's Day too? I guess you'll have to come to Launches Served next week to find that one out, Christine. So in a week, we will be doing Launches Served. I don't know who's doing it. It might be Michael. Might be Tammy. Generally, it seems like it's always Tammy. Maybe because I'm in Europe, they never want to send me products. Might be Andy. I'm not 100% sure who's doing it this next week. It's probably Tammy. Yeah, I think it's Tammy. I think I saw the image, and it's Tammy in her chef hat. It's in 2 weeks. Brooke corrects me. It's not next week. It's in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we will be doing launch. This is why I keep Brooke and Tammy around, because I always say the wrong things. In 2 weeks, launch is served. And who knows? Maybe you will see mugs. I will tell you, there's a lot of really cool, a lot of things that get me very, very excited are launching. Some products that you know, and you might already sell them, but you can sell them through us for cheaper. When cheaper is always nice. It's always nice to save some money selling things. And I bet, you know what, Katie? I bet Michael did let it leak. Every time the marketing team works to keep a secret, Michael goes and tells everybody. So I 100% believe that Michael did share all of this. And but I bet he didn't share it all because I don't tell Michael everything. I keep secrets too, and I know Michael tells secrets, so he only gets bits and pieces. So I highly doubt you got all the information. You might have got some, but there's some really cool products that are coming out. So is ShineOn going to do something to make the best-selling necklaces more personalizable for Etsy? Example, a small tag on the love knot and Cuban link chain. You know, Deborah, currently I don't have that as something that we're doing. However, I would love for you to message me and Tammy so that we can chat more about that, because I could definitely see that as something that we could do. So yeah, I think you should hit us up. Yeah, you should definitely send us a message, Deborah, and let's chat about that one. That's a good one. I can't confirm, nor can I deny that mugs are launching. You're not gonna catch me. I'm not giving away my secrets. All righty. We've got another. So we've got the mastermind on Thursday next week, and we've got another coffee with ShineOn on Friday. It's a busy week next week. We are hitting that Mother's Day rush, so everybody get ready. I am going to go ahead and sign off for the day, go hang out with my family, and enjoy Easter weekend. I hope you all enjoy your Friday and your Easter weekend and your family or whatever you're going to do. I know Deborah's probably going to go to the beach and tell me how nice the beach is in Delaware. So you enjoy it. I will probably not go to the beach here in the Netherlands because it's not that nice out. But you guys all enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you for coming.